Peace be upon you. I hope you are well. Today I want to make a quick revision for the grammar from unit number 3. Aim high for unit number 3. And in this unit, we talk about the modal auxiliary verb. We use the modal auxiliary verb to give advice and to make obligation or prohibition. Number 1, advice. Advice معناها إعطاء النصيحة. We use should or ought to. احنا استخدمنا should or ought to give advice. But the difference between these two models that ought to is formal one. الاختلاف بين should و ought to إنه ought to بنستخدمها في الكتابات الرسمية والمقالات الرسمية، بينما should بنستخدمها in our life and it is informal. To make recommendation and give advice. إذن in general we use should or ought to. Recommendations معناها التوصيات. Give advice معناها إعطاء النصائح. Example. You ought to go to the dentist. You shouldn't smoke so much. He shouldn't smoke so much. Obligation. We use must and have to. To talk about obligation in the present, we normally use must and it's a personal obligation. لا الفرق بين must و have to كلاهم obligation، بس في واحد منهم بيكون هو نوع من الإجبارية اللي هي فيها إرادة شخصية، يعني الإرادة الشخصية تغلب عليها، okay؟ وهي استخدام must. فmust بتكون تعتمد على إرادتنا الشخصية، فعشان هيك حكى لنا هون a personal obligation. بينما have to it is a kind of external obligation، هي نوع من الأوامر اللي بتصدر من الآخرين علينا. Okay? Now, we usually use have to when we are talking about rules. دائما نستخدمها لما نتحدث عن القوانين and we are obligated وإحنا مجبرين to follow these rules. I must get fit if I want to play in the basketball team. As you see, I use must get fit عشان هاي الشغلة تعتمد علي أنا شخصياً. While we have to finish the project by Thursday، هذه طبعاً بيكون عندنا deadline محدد، وهاي بتكون external obligation، أمر من الآخرين. We use had to. Now the past of have to or has to is had to. إذن الماضي لل have to هو had to talk about obligation in the past. For example, Anne had to speak to the boss about the accident. We use need to. Also need to, it means معناها necessity. تعطي معنى الضرورة. To talk about necessity معناها الضرورة. We need to revise. ننتبه إنه need هون رح تكون فعل رئيسي مش فعل models، ودائما بيجي وراها to infinitive. We need to revise regular verbs for the exam. We use don't have to and needn't to say that isn't any obligation to do something. إذن هلأ بنيجي لمعنى don't have to و needn't وهم معناهم unnecessary مش ضروري. We can choose to do something or not to. We use needn't without to. طبعا needn't هون صارت modal auxiliary verb، فإذا الفعل اللي بيجي وراها فعل مجرد. Example. We don't have to do any homework tonight, so let's play tennis. إذا بمعنى مش ضروري نحل الواجبات الليلة، نخلينا نلعب تنس. Sentence number 2. He needn't work for his parents, but he likes to help them. Okay, now here we want to use the three models must, can't, might to speculate about the present and past. Now speculating about the present، التخمين في زمن المضارع. Here we use must plus infinitive to say what we think is true in a particular situation. إذا استخدمنا المust مع البيس verb لما أنا هوني speculate about something that is true and present، لما بكون بخمن شيء أكيد 100% صحيح. We use may, might or could plus be. These three models, they are the same to say what we think is possibly true in a particular situation. إذن هوني أنا بستخدم these models, okay, to indicate that it's possible to happen. It's possible to be true or not. Okay, هون يعني محتمل مش أكيد. While we use can't plus the base verb to say that something is impossible to happen. إذا أنا هون بكون متأكدة إنه هذا الشيء مستحيل إنه يصير. Now here I have examples. Number one, that's late arriving home. He must be in a traffic jam. Now, number two, Tom may be in Jack's office. They are working together this week. Number two, I can't find my bag. ننتبه إنه هوني can't بمعنى مش قادر، معنى لا يستطيع، بس can't اللي عندنا هون معناها مستحيل. ننتبه للمعاني هاي. It might be in my bedroom. He could be at the shop. He said he needed to buy some milk. يعني يمكن هو في المحل أو في البقالة لأنه محتاج لحليب. إذا شايفين التخمينات هوني when I use maybe, when I use might be and could be، هون التخمين بيكون يعني احتمال ممكن ممكن. But here when I use can't، هون can't معناها impossible مستحيل. They can't be at the school. It's already 7 o'clock. إذا مستحيل يكونوا في المدرسة. طبعا التخمين اللي في المضارع بيختلف عن الماضي إنه إيش بيجي بعد المودلز؟ بعد المودلز after the models here we use the base verb, but in the past we have to use have and verb 3. Now we use must have plus past participle. Past participle means verb 3. Okay, don't forget to say what we think was true, because we talk about the past in particular situation. Okay, now this example, the plane was delayed for 5 hours. They must have been angry. We use may, might, or could have plus past participle or verb 3 to say what we think was possibly true in a particular time. And we use can't plus have plus past participle to say that we think was impossible in a particular situation. Now, after this, we can go to the page number 99, and in this page, we want to do the exercises. Grammar Builder, unit number 3, exercise number 1. Here we want to choose the best answer. We want to choose must or mustn't, okay? And this part depends on the obligation, advice, prohibition, and so on. Number 1, excuse me, you mustn't or don't have a smoke here. As you see, here the correct answer, you mustn't smoke here. I think you should or must speak to your teacher. She will help you. I think it's a kind of advice, so you should speak to your teacher. Number 3, we needn't or ought not to work on Saturday. The boss only wants 2 people. Now here it's better to use needn't, بمعنى unnecessary. Number 4, we have to or we must have a driving license to ride a motorbike. Now the correct answer is have to, and this is a kind of rule. I really needn't or need to stay in and paint my flat this weekend, so need to stay. If you don't feel well, you ought to or have to go bed. You ought to go to bed. Exercise number 2. Complete the sentences with the word in the box. Here we have to choose the best and appropriate word to fill in the space. I must pass the exam with my very good marks to go to that university. The teacher said we also have to give him the project next week. Number 3. We don't have to help me, but you can if you want. Number 4. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to go the shops for my mom. Number 5. You mustn't talk in the library. The librarian will get very angry if you do. Number 6. We need to paint the sitting room. We haven't do it for years. Number 7. I didn't do these exercises, but I really like doing math problems. Number 8. I don't think you should eat so much chocolate. It's bad for you. Exercise number 3, and here in this exercise, we want to match the functions with the sentences. Now, match the function in the box to the sentences. Use some of the functions more than once. Here, prohibition, advice, obligation, no necessity or obligation, past obligation. طبعا رح نقرأ الجملة ونشوف إيش الفانكشن أو إيش المعنى للجملة. You really should be a dentist. Now here should be, see the dentist, it means يعني visit أو اذهب إلى طبيب الأسنان بمعنى. Okay, here it's like advice. You don't have to return the money now. Give it me when you can. This is no necessity or obligation. يعني مش ضروري ترجع المصاري هلا. Number 3, we have to pass a driving test if we want to ride a mod. Now here, obligation. Number 4, they didn't come to the talk this evening, but it will be interesting. This is a kind of like no necessity or obligation. يعني مش بالضرورة تكون موجود أو تيجي. Number 5, student mustn't enter the class after it has started. This is a kind of prohibition. طبعا ممنوع الطالب يدخل بعد المعلم أو بعد ما تبدأ الحصة. Number 6, I must practice more if I want to speak good English. This is a kind of obligation. You ought to wear glasses. You can't see anything. This is a kind of advice. I had to reply to all the emails that I would received. I had received. I had to reply all the emails that I had received. This is a kind of past obligation. Okay, now exercise number 4, and in this exercise we want to match these situations with the speculation A to F. في عندنا هون تخمينات بناء على المواقف الموجودة عندنا. نشوف شو طبيعة التخمين. speculation راح يكون عندنا. Now choose the best answer. We have to match between numbers and symbols. نعمل موافقة بين sentences and the speculation here. Jane hasn't come to school. Now it comes with E she must be ill. لما احنا بنحكي بمعنى انه جين مش موجودة في المدرسة ما داومت اليوم، فرح يكون الخيار عندنا انه اكيد هي مريضة. clear؟ There isn't any bread left. Now here we can match it with the Sam must have eaten it all. D. Number 3. He is speaking Arabic. Now here we can say he could be Egyptian. Number 4. The car is still dirty. Now here comes with B. They can't have cleaned it. Number 5, Dad hasn't arrived home yet. This is with C. He might have left the office late. Number 6 and the last, they look very smart. They might be going to a wedding. هلا هون السمارت معناها لباسهم أنيق مش ذكاء. يعني look smart يعني يبدو انهم انيقين في اللبس. ننتبه للمعنى. فاذا احنا عملنا ماتشنج بناء على المعنى الموجود عندنا الاوبشنز كمان. okay. Now exercise number 5. Write sentences with must be, could, may, might be, and couldn't be. Now here we want to rewrite the sentences by using the correct or suitable model. I'm sure Olga is Russian. Now here when you say I'm sure and we have the word sure and we have the affirmative sentence in the present, the answer will be Olga must be Russian. I think Sarah is from Liverpool. Here when I say I think, يعني it is possible that Sarah, now here Sarah could or Sarah may or might, نختار واحدة من الثلاثة, be from Liverpool. I'm sure Anne isn't on the course. هلا I'm sure isn't جملة منفية فهون رح نستخدم can't be in the course. Number 4, I'm sure they aren't in the library. Now here I'm sure and we have the negative. Here we have to use can't. They can't be in the library. مستحيل يكونوا في المكتبة. Number 5. I'm sure Ray knows the answer. Now here I have I'm sure and affirmative sentence. Ray must know. ننتبه إنه الفعل هوني مجرد يعني ما في اس. The answer. Number 7, I think they are David's parents. Now here, I think, and here represent, here we can use could, may, might be David's parents. I'm sure Mike isn't a teacher. Now here we have negative, so it's better to use can't. إذا Mike can't be a teacher. مستحيل يكون معلم. This is for this exercise. Exercise number 6 and the last. Complete the sentences. The correct past form. Now here we want to use the correct past form. يعني إحنا بنعرف إنه ال past form مع المودلز بنستخدم الهاف والتصريف الثالث للفعل. He must have left school classes finished an hour ago. Anne might have stayed at home. She didn't feel well yesterday. Tom could have lost his mobile. He is not answering his phone. Number 4, she can't have met her sister. She is in London at the moment. Number 5, they may have walked home. They weren't on the bus. Sarah must have taken the bag. It isn't here. 7, she can't have seen the film. She didn't know what happens at the end. Number 8, she might have done the exercises. She said she had no homework. Now that's it for these exercises. I hope you understood them and benefited from this video. Thank you for your listening.